The Anunnaki and the Genesis Narrative, a comparative biography. The Anunnaki, a term from ancient Mesopotamian mythology, translates to those who from heaven to earth came. This group of deities is central to the pantheon of Sumerian gods and has intriguing parallels with the biblical accounts in Genesis. This comparative biography delves into the identity of the Anunnaki, contrasts and compares their narrative with the Genesis story, and explores the concept of a prequel to the biblical accounts. Who were the Anunnaki? The Anunnaki were regarded as divine beings with immense power and human-like qualities. Key figures include Anu, Enlil, Enki, Ninhursag, Inanna, Utu, and Nana. Their stories, depicted in Sumerian literature, present them as beings with conflicts, emotions, and interactions with humanity, suggesting a historical basis for these gods. Anunnaki in Sumerian mythology, Anu, An, often seen as the supreme god, distant in the affairs of humankind. Enlil, Nod, a controversial figure responsible for the Sumerian flood. Enki, Van, popular god known for saving humanity from disasters. Inanna, Eve, associated with the sacred tree, the serpent, and kingship. Utu, Adam, symbolically linked with agriculture and justice. Nana, Sin, lunar deity connected with wisdom and astrology. Ninhursag, earth goddess involved in the creation myth. Comparison with the Genesis narrative. The Genesis account and Sumerian myths show striking similarities, especially in the stories of the Great Flood, creation, and the Tower of Babel. However, differences lie in the depiction of divine beings. The singular, omnipotent God of Genesis versus the Council of Gods in Sumerian texts. The concept of prequel to the Bible. Some theorists propose that Sumerian myths serve as a prequel to the biblical stories, suggesting an evolution in religious thought from polytheism to monotheism. Flood narrative and the world concept. Both the Sumerian and biblical narratives describe a great flood. The Sumerians perceived the world as a flat circle of land, with a dome-like firmament holding back cosmic waters, a concept shared in early interpretations of the Genesis narrative. The firmament in Hebrew tradition. The Hebrew concept of the firmament, rakia, aligns with this ancient worldview, seen as a solid dome separating earthly and heavenly waters. The Anunnaki's role and misinterpretations. Zechariah. Sitchin's interpretation suggests that the Anunnaki were extraterrestrial beings who genetically engineered humans, a theory not widely accepted in mainstream academia. The Anunnaki are often associated with prehistoric events and misconstrued in modern interpretations. In conclusion, the Anunnaki narrative and its comparison with the Genesis story present a rich tapestry of ancient mythology and religious evolution.
Creation story and gene enhancement theory. A deep dive into ancient myths and modern interpretations. The creation story of the Anunnaki, as described in ancient Sumerian texts, and the gene enhancement theory popularized by modern theorists like Zechariah Sitchin, presents a fascinating blend of ancient mythology and speculative science. This exploration delves into these narratives, examining their implications and the intriguing bridge they form between past mythologies and contemporary theories. The Anunnaki creation story. In Sumerian mythology, the Anunnaki are credited with creating humans. The myths suggest that these gods, led by figures like Enki and Ninhursag, embarked on a project to genetically engineer a being capable of bearing the burdens of labor. This being was to be fashioned by combining the genetic material of the Anunnaki with that of existing hominids on Earth. Sitchin's gene enhancement theory. Zechariah. Sitchin, in his interpretation of Sumerian texts, posits that the Anunnaki were advanced extraterrestrial beings from a planet called Nibiru. According to Sitchin, they arrived on Earth approximately 450,000 years ago, seeking gold to restore their planet's atmosphere. Facing labor challenges, they genetically engineered humans by combining their DNA with Homo erectus, or similar species. This act, Sitchin suggests, led to the creation of modern humans, Homo sapiens. Scientific and scholarly perspectives. While Sitchin's theories have captivated many, they have been met with skepticism in the scientific community. Critics argue that his interpretations of ancient texts are not supported by mainstream archaeology or linguistics. The genetic enhancement theory, while fascinating, lacks empirical evidence and remains within the realm of speculative fiction. Comparison with biblical creation. The Sumerian creation story shares similarities with the Genesis account, particularly in the concept of a higher power creating humans. However, while the Genesis narrative attributes creation to a singular divine entity, the Sumerian story involves a council of deities with advanced technology. Implications and influence. The gene enhancement theory has influenced various fields, including ancient astronaut theories and science fiction. It has sparked discussions about the origins of human civilization and the possibility of ancient advanced technologies, cultural and mythological significance. These narratives underscore the human fascination with creation and our origins. They reflect our ancestors' attempts to explain human existence and have continued to inspire modern interpretations and artistic expressions. The Anunnaki narrative, a cornerstone of Sumerian mythology, and the biblical story of Genesis, share an intriguing parallelism, each offering an explanation of human origin that blends divine intervention with earthly existence. As we venture into these ancient tales, it's essential to approach them with a balanced perspective that respects their cultural and historical significance while acknowledging the lens of modern skepticism. Zechariah. Sitchin's theories, proposing an extraterrestrial genesis of humankind through genetic engineering by the Anunnaki, provide a futuristic reinterpretation of these age-old myths. This perspective infuses the Sumerian legends with a sense of cosmic wonder, suggesting that our origins might be intertwined with a more advanced civilization from the stars. Similarly, the biblical narrative of Genesis, with its depiction of a divine creator, fashioning humanity, and imparting knowledge, has long been a cornerstone of Judeo-Christian thought. However, in the light of contemporary understanding, these stories can also be viewed as allegorical, reflecting our ancestors' attempts to comprehend the world around them and their place within it. In the grand tapestry of human history and belief, both the Anunnaki saga and the biblical creation story represent the richness of our mythological heritage. They are narratives that not only link us to our distant past, but also inspire us to ponder the vast, uncharted possibilities of our existence. Whether these tales are seen as literal truths or symbolic myths, they continue to fascinate and provoke thought, reminding us of humanity's enduring quest to unravel the mysteries of our beginnings and our enduring fascination with the unknown. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey. Your support and engagement mean the world to the House of Brandon Alexander. We are deeply grateful for your interest, your questions, and the shared exploration of knowledge. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating discussions and insights, sending love and positive vibes your way. Stay tuned for more and keep the curiosity alive. Peace and love.
Rod He's on Enlil and Anunnaki.
Enlil, they not from Earth. First and foremost, this is what we gotta understand. Enlil don't have, his children are nomads on Earth. Because before he came, the Anunnaki had already divided Earth up into 3 regions. The land of Enki, we call it the motherland, Africa. It wasn't called Africa 500 years ago. It was called the Greater Sudan. Over here, we called it the Afar Inca. And we refer to ourselves as Amur Inca. Right? So, Enlil's children, he Yahweh in the Bible. Okay? So he's promising his children that he gonna give them a homeland. That's his promise. The only way he can give them a homeland is he gotta overthrow either Enki, or Isis, or Tahuti. Them the 3 regions of the earth. Right? So when you look at the movement, when we look at the movement in ancient times, you can actually see the fingerprints of Anunnaki warfare. Most of us don't study warfare, therefore we have no way to understand how they weaponize everything we do against us. Right? So his job and his son, Marduk, who was his first general he picked, and then his scientist son, Ninursin, right? These was the ones that he picked, a scientist and a soldier, to usurp one of these clans so they could have some land on Earth. They lost. Okay. Right? They should have never fucked with Tahuti, and they probably could have been able to get by on Enki or Isis, but they can't get past Tahuti. Right? So in the exile of the Spanish Inquisition, right? So in the Spanish Inquisition, they kicked out of Europe, out of ISIS land, some people that we call Moors today. We call them dirty Moors over here. Mm-hmm. The good Moors is the ones of us who has to fight them and take their pheasants, like you did. Right? Now, the Moors shouldn't be offended. They should celebrate Noble Ali anthem, even though the Moorish Science Temple was infiltrated. Right? So this is what made Elijah Muhammad form the Nation of Islam. And if you know, Noble Drew Ali had a mufti staff. So his mufti staff was the infiltrators. They was in his mufti staff. Them the ones who went to his house, drug him out and gave him over to what they call Rome. They look like us. Right? Now, while they got Noble Drew Ali locked up, beating the shit out of him, trying to make him give us the word, Drew, give us the word. They talking about the Masonic password. He don't know it like that. So he can't give it to him if he want to, but he wasn't gonna never give it to him no matter how bad they beat him. And so he ended up suffering from complications of the beating, and then they gave him a melanated sister that poisoned him, and then she blamed it on his pale-skinned wife. So now Noble Drew Ali took out the picture in 1929. He passed it off to Elijah Muhammad, but he sent another Moorish Grand Sheikh to feign the continuation of the Moorish Science Temple. That's to give Elijah Muhammad at least a 3-year head start to set his shit up. Right? In 1933, Nation of Islam come full throttle. Elijah studied up now. Right? Now, in 1926, they exiled Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Right? But he left significant work for us to do study. Up you mighty people, do what you will. Now, when you look up Pan-Africanism, It traced back to Noble Drew. I mean, not Noble Drew. It traced back to W.E.B. Du Bois, and it traced back to Marcus Garvey. Both of them, they call him the father of Pan-Africanism. But if you go back further, Pan-Africanism looked for a guy named James Delaney. Right?
Okay.
Right. So he the one starting the Back to Africa movement in the 1800s. The Liberian movement. He looked like us. Okay, now, it's not the same Pan-African movement. But if you're not a student of Garvey, you won't never know that it was a motive behind Garvey telling us to form a confraternity and to form a Pan-African connection, because the Africans got to tell us, they ain't bring y'all from over here. Y'all was already there.
Yep.
So if you go back to 2017, 2018, the president of Ghana and the chiefs offered a qualified apology for the slave trade. There's a problem with that. Most people don't know what a qualified apology is. A qualified apology is this: the qualifications in which we need to apologize need to be put on the record. And we will be, willing to support you in anything you do if we found to be guilty. Right? So when I tried to qualify the apology, I found out that we ain't come from over there. We was already here.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna get them. Go ahead.
Right? Yeah. So all of the African scholars that I spoke to from Nigeria, the Sudan, from Ethiopia, from South Africa, I've personally spoke with people from all of these countries, right? They all tell me the same thing. Man, you know a whole lot about Africa and the Pan-African movement, but y'all not from over here. How do you know this? Right? So now I'm like, what the fuck you mean we ain't from over there? Go back and do your research. You'll find out you was already there. Right?
That's right.
So when the Moors got kicked out of Spain, right? That was their stronghold.
1892, right?
It started long before that. It was an ongoing
with 1478 with the Spanish Inquisition? Like the 1478? Okay, all right.
They didn't finally get kicked out until 1611.
Okay.
But when everything started, they sent Columbus out as an investigator.
Hold on, damn, ain't it the same year that the King James Version Bible was put together, like the 1611? What is it?
Yep.
Damn. Go ahead. I'm putting it all together in my head.
It's easy to piece together when you know all the parts.
Yeah.
Okay, so now when they came over here, Chief Pontiac say they gave us a Bible and asked us to pray with them. We took the Bible, prayed with them, bowed our heads. When we raised our head, we had the Bible, they had the land. It's all on the record.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, they said that our elders had such cognitive dissonance because they had never seen a ship before, that they didn't see the ships that came from Africa. There's only one problem with that. We've been trading with West Africa for hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah, with Mansa Musa, all that,
Yeah, even before him.
Yeah.
Right? We also, on the west coast of the United States, was trading with Japan and China. For thousands of years.
Yeah, with Ho Chi Minh and all them.
Yeah. So now, how in the fuck we don't know what a boat looked like? A ship. All of a sudden, we forgot what a ship looked like to have cognitive. That's because it didn't exist. The slave ship that we see, the popular sardine can slave ship, it's a direct overlay for Notre Dame University. Because it was an academic hatch plot. That's why that ship on May the 5th, 2018, they set it on fire. They burnt that bitch down. Right? That because I found it. I'm hot. Remember? Hot and cold. You getting warm. You getting warm. Nigga, you on fire. Right? So they burned it. That was our cue. That's exactly what it is. So when I when I review it, when I'm reviewing the records, I'm like, shit,